Good evening, folks. We are here for week 2 of NFL Pickems. I'm your host, Nikki Stees. I'm joined by Mac the Giants fan. I should be joined shortly by Philly Sports Raps, and Timus. But we're gonna get this thing underway. So it's for week 2 of our weekly Pickems. And when they show up, they show up. But let's get started. We're gonna jump into it right away. Before we do that, how you doing tonight, Mac?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, man. It's football season again, so it's my favorite time of the year, man. Even though my Giants are letting me down, keep finding ways to just destroy my soul on Sundays, but it's all right.
All right, so with that being said, now we'll dive into it. We're starting off tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Miami Dolphins, fresh off their victory over the Arizona Cardinals, will host their division rival, the Buffalo Bills. Who you got in this one?
I actually went with Miami here. I mean, I know Buffalo, the history against Miami, they really play well. They usually take it to Miami, but I just think based off of just what I saw from the Bills last year, they had to work hard to beat the Cardinals, and I just think the Dolphins might have a little too much firepower, and they're not going to be able to keep up. He doesn't have the same caliber receivers. Josh Allen doesn't have the same caliber receivers, and I just think it's going to be a little too much firepower for that Miami Dolphin team.
For me, this is an interesting matchup because I think early in the season when the Dolphins are fully healthy, we know that they can do some damage. When they got their Tua healthy, they got Waddle, Hill healthy. They're vital pieces in this offense, especially with this game in Miami where it's in the Florida weather. The more I think about it, I am going to lean toward Miami. At first, I was kind of leaning to Buffalo because I wasn't sure, what was going to actually happen with Hill and them. I was going to wait and see. But now, we get thinking about it, is got to go with Miami in the warm weather in this week 2 matchup. But should be a good game, though, either way. Moving on, Dallas Cowboys at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time host the New Orleans Saints.
This will be a fun one, man. The Dallas Cowboys showed me something on Sunday, man. I was impressed. I had to say I was impressed going with the way they handled Cleveland, and it wasn't from the offensive side. It was what they did defensively against the Cleveland Browns, and just that Dallas Cowboys defense looked pretty ferocious, man. And New Orleans is coming out with a good defense as well, but I just think this is a huge step up in class from what New Orleans faced a week ago, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to take care of business.
Yep, I'm on the same with you because yes, the Saints they looked great in that game, but that was against the Carolina Panthers. Cowboys, say what we want to say about them, we can hate them, but they're still a good regular season team, and Dak is still one of the better QBs in the league. I mean, we can debate whether or not he, where he is because of his playoff history, but that's not the point. But we know the Cowboys are a better team than the Panthers, and they've made the playoffs the last 3 seasons, won 2 division titles. So we know this early regular season matchup. Yeah, I got the Cowboys because the Saints, from what we've seen, they've just been mediocre these past couple years. And this is their first true test. So I'm not letting last week affect my judgment at this. I'm going with the Cowboys. Moving on, we got a Detroit Lions, ironically, have another playoff rematch. Week 1, it was the rematch from the wild card round against the Rams. Week 2, it's a rematch of their divisional round victory over the Buccaneers. Who you got in this one?
I think we get a repeat here, man. Detroit is legit. They are the real deal, man. That team's got a big chip on their shoulder. They were so close to the Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl just a season ago. I think this year they are determined. This is going to be a team I don't think anybody's going to want to deal with. And I like the Detroit Lions, man, here.
Yeah, I got to go the same here with the Lions because, sure, the Bucs, we've seen it over the past last year and so far early this year. Baker Mayfield and that offense looks good in favorable matchups, like they did against Washington, who's still in a long rebuild. But now you're going against Detroit Lions, a juggernaut in the NFC, who showed with their win over the Rams that their week 1 that showed week one that last week, year, was not a fluke. So I got the lines in this matchup. And we know with Baker, when there's pressure on, he has to step up. He doesn't stat pad as well as he normally does in favorable situations. So I got the lines in this one. Next matchup, we got the Green Bay Packers hosting the Indianapolis Colts at home, 1 p.m. I think I kind of know where we're going, but go ahead.
Yeah, Green Bay, you're not fooling me with all this Jordan Love might potentially play on Sunday hype. Yeah, you're not fooling me with that. I don't see Jordan Love's not running out of that tunnel Sunday, and I think I don't believe in Malik Willis. I just don't, and I think Anthony Richardson and the Colts are going to take it to Green Bay, unfortunately, without Jordan Love under center.
Yep, same here. Yeah, because Jordan, we're stuck with Malik Willis, who's only played limited play, but when he did in Tennessee, he showed he was still raw and has a long way to go. I don't trust him in this one. I got the Colts. At least, they got Anthony Richardson for this matchup going into it. And even last year without him, they were still a solid team. So I'll take the Colts in this one to get their win, especially since they looked strong last week in defeat against the Texans. Moving on, next 1 o'clock game in Nashville, we got the Titans hosting the Jets. Both teams off their loss. Someone's got to rebound.
Someone's got to rebound, but I think that's going to be the Jets. I think too much. I think the defense is going to be way too much because even with the Jets losing the way they did on Monday night, they held the 49ers to a lot of field goals, man. They clamped down when they needed to. They just couldn't score enough points themselves. But I think they'll have fewer issues against the Tennessee Titans. They're not the 49ers. And I think the Jets come out with the victory here.
Right. And alluding to what you said, the Jets, even though they lost, they did, considering the circumstances they were entering into, with Aaron Rodgers being gone for a whole year pretty much, having to play the top team in the NFC, they held their own and made a game of it. This is a big step down in competition, an easy tune-up to bounce back against the Titans. I'll take the Jets in this one. We saw the Titans, what they did against the Bears. The Jets defense, we know from last season that they're a good unit. I got them to win this game. I'll consider some warm-up for Rodgers to get back into shape. Well, I guess you kind of know what I mean. But speaking of the 49ers, moving on, the next 1 o'clock game is the Vikings versus the Niners.
Well, look, Minnesota Vikings. Last week, the New York Giants, they laid down for you, and that was all well and good. This is the 49ers, a completely different animal. And I think we're going to see the real version of Sam Darnold, the Sam Darnold we have all grown to know and love. You're not going to see a guy that was sitting back there carving up the New York Giants defense. I think they get after Sam Darnold. I think they're going to absolutely destroy the Vikings on Sunday. 49ers, definitely for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely have the 49ers in this matchup. Because the Vikings completely different. Completely different levels of competition. Last week was like playing Madden on easy mode against the Giants. Now it's like playing on all Madden against the 49ers. It could be a completely different game. I got the Niners in this one. We saw from last week, whether Christian McCaffrey plays or not, they know how to use the run. Kyle Shanahan's picked up with what his dad did. You can take any running back they throw in that situation and make the run game a predominant part of the offense. Got the Niners in this one. And plus, you still got those weapons in the passing game. Kittle, Debo, Ayuk. Take the Niners. And Sam Darnold, I don't see him holding up against that defense. We'll move on. An interesting matchup. The Seahawks versus the Patriots.
It is. And there was maybe a couple weeks ago, I would have thought you had to put much thought into this one. But I think we all thought that last week with the Patriots matchup. And the Patriots pretty much proved everybody wrong and going out there and beating Cincinnati in week 1. And they were tough and they were scrappy, but I know Seattle's taking that long trip to the East Coast, but I don't see. I think Seattle, man, is going to be a little too tough. I don't think they're going to let New England off the hook the way the Cincinnati Bengals did, and I think they're going to bring New England a little bit, bring them down to reality a little bit. I like the Seattle Seahawks here.
And that's a great point you made about bring them to reality, because the Patriots, well, they are a rebuilding team after all. They're in a deep rebuild with what was left by Belichick, and that was not the Patriots team that we were used to seeing under his reign of terror. Now you got a first-year head coach in Gerard Mayo, who got his win last week in his game ball, but now you're going to go against the Seahawks, a team who, despite their flaws, are still a competitive team. We at least know Geno Smith. He's not. If we would have been talking about this going into week 1 2 years ago, we would have laughed at the thought of Geno starting for a whole season. But now we at least know, hey, Geno has chemistry with this team. They can at least do something with it. And you're going to get, and we know, hey, they were on the cusp of the playoffs last year, even though they didn't make it in. And the year before that, they snuck in as a wild card, but you're going against the Patriots team that's still in a deep rebuild. I like the Seahawks in this matchup because at least we know what the talent can do. And I think that'll help them win this matchup and bounce up to 2-0. So moving right along. Next 1 p.m. matchup, Commanders versus Giants.
Oh, my goodness gracious. This is brutal for me. Like, the history, the Giants absolutely own this football team. But this New York Giant team now is something different, and it's something that stinks awful about this football team, unfortunately. And that is number 8, the quarterback, Daniel Jones. He's absolutely god-awful. Even the one consistent thing he's done in his career is take it to the Commanders. Like, the only thing he can hang his hat on is how good he plays against his football team. But after what I watched this past Sunday, I can't pick the New York Giants to win a game after what I saw this past Sunday. They got to prove to me that they can go out there and compete. Washington coming off a loss themselves, but they at least competed for 4 quarters. I can't say that about the New York Giants last Sunday. So I got to go with the Washington Commanders here.
Yeah, I've said it a couple times in my streams too. I got the Commanders because at least we saw Jaden Daniels, even in that loss they had week 1 against Tampa Bay. He had some flashes of brilliance in that first game. And so we know he can at least, he had a good completion percentage, and he showed he can make plays with his feet, which will at least help them give them an edge in this matchup against the Giants. Because the Buccaneers, let's face it, are a better team than the Giants. And the Giants, it's at the point now where I'm even questioning DeBall at this point. It's not even just Daniel Jones. I got to wonder. I'm starting to think DeBall is going to be that next big 1-year wonder head coach. Because even like listening to, I've heard part of what he said of, we got to look back at the tape. It just doesn't seem like he's fully competent. Like last year, he's calling a bunch of screenplays because he doesn't want to take a shot with his quarterbacks. And now you don't even have Saquon in the offense. At least the Commanders have some decent pieces. They should get this win in here. Because I don't see what the Giants, I see nothing from them. And speaking of poor performances, the Carolina Panthers, after their abysmal performance against the Saints, will host the Jim Harbaugh-led Los Angeles Chargers. Should be.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can't. Once again, just like the Giants, I can't. After what we witnessed on Sunday, I could not fix my mouth to actually pick the Carolina Panthers to win the football game. So definitely got to go with the Chargers here. I think it won't even be competitive. I think the Chargers will pretty much do similar things to the Panthers that the Saints did to them a week ago. Panthers were the only team I thought coming into this season that I even thought had a worse roster than the New York Giants, to be honest. And I still kind of stand behind it. I think the Giants may actually edge the Panthers out on paper, but these are clearly the 2 worst teams. They're clearly the 2 worst teams of football. So I got to go with the Chargers here.
Hey,
what's up, Thomas?
Welcome. Hey, what's going on? How we doing?
We're doing good. So far, we've gone through the 1 o'clock games. Before I go, I'm going to go back and let Thomas make his picks. We're going to start from the top so you can make your picks. Welcome aboard. But hey, Thomas, another one. Long time no see.
Yeah, back at it like a crack addict, man. Let's go.
So I'll start with real for you to start with tomorrow night. Dolphins hosting the Bills. Who you got in that one?
Okay, hear me out. I got no faith in Josh Allen. To be honest, I just got no faith in him. I think he is the new Matt Ryan, like just a regular season champ. So I got no faith in him. Tua, Tyreek just got that arrest charge, did a funny celebration afterwards. I think he's still hungry off that. I'm definitely going with Miami.
Okay, so you got Miami in that one, and the next one will go Cowboys Saints.
You see the logo on the top of the head here. Y'all know, even if the Saints ain't gonna win it, I still gotta go with the Saints. I can never root for a Cowboys team. Now, analytic wise, I'll tell you Cowboys. I just want to see them upset. I'm going with the Saints.
Okay. And then moving on, Lions Buccaneers rematch of last year's divisional round matchup.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be another rematch again. Baker's coming off his best game possible in his career. That also was with the terrible Washington defense. Lions held it out against the Rams, which is pretty cool to see. This one, I'm going to go with the Lions. I think they got the more complete team. Again, they were only a couple plays away from the Super Bowl last year. I think they're going to, keep going off that. I know it's a new year, and they still proved it this year, so I'm going with the Lions.
We got the Packers hosting the Colts.
This is an interesting game. You got two quarterbacks who are trying to prove themselves and doing a decent job at it. With Love and Richardson.
Remember, Love is supposed to be out though 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, and because of that, I just got no faith in their backup. I wish Love the best. Richardson, he lost a tough game. I think he's going to come back and do his thing. Going with the Colts.
Right. I got Jets versus Titans.
Ooh, man, this is the battle of the Suck Bowl. Neither quarterback is proven. This is I don't know. Like, I want to see Rodgers win. I just think he's at the end. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna pick Rodgers. So I got to go with the Jets.
And get the Jet, and then moving down, 49ers Vikings.
Is this even a pick? I mean, it's the Niners. Like, like the Vikings are unproven on both sides of the ball. It's hard. And what do we have next?
Okay, so I guess you're going with the Niners, and then it's Seahawks Patriots.
I ain't gonna lie. I think Mayo got a squad going. I think people are overlooking them. I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one, man. They came out, punched the Bengals in the mouth. I think they're gonna have a 10-7 season or nothing like that. But I think they're gonna be closer to 500 than people would think. Going with the Patriots.
And then we're going with perfect matchup. Your guys' teams versus each other. Commanders versus Giants.
Ah, man. Okay. All right. I gotta be. All right. I'm gonna look in the camera and tell you all this. The Washington Commanders are the sole reason Daniel Jones got paid $45 million. Okay, we are the sole reason they gave that man that contract. He can't perform nowhere else. But against the Commanders, that man will go for 4 touchdowns, 300 on in the air, and another $150 on the ground. I don't know how it happens. I can't. I just don't understand. Like, this man is Daniel sucks all the time, but then he gets to us and he turns to Danny Dimes, dropping in the basket, and then Thibodeau be having crazy games against us. I can't explain it, bro. Like, the Giants got our number in the worst way possible. but I think that stops today. I think we're gonna have a great QB. All right, Jaden proved himself last game. He is an NFL quarterback. Now things need to be built around him. I think we'll be able to get better. I think Terry will be able to have more separation. I mean, we get it. We win against a Todd Bowles defense, who was in the playoffs last year. Beat the Eagles. Had a tough run up against. So they're not scrubs, and they proved that to us that they still going. I think we have a real chance here. I think the Commanders are going to come out victorious. What is the score? Don't ask me. This game could be 10-7. Okay, by the way that our offenses play. But yeah, I do think the Commanders come out on top here, though.
Man, so far it looks like we're mostly on the same page with all of our picks. Most cases going unanimous. And this was just when you popped in. Chargers versus Panthers. I'll let you go again.
Panthers got to sneak one. This is the game they sneak one. Herbert's still not back yet. Panthers going to sneak one out. Got the Panthers here.
Okay. We got a split. And for me, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one because I didn't see anything from the Panthers last week that gives me any indication that this team's moving forward in a positive direction. Against the New Orleans Saints, who have been mediocre for the past 3 seasons, I don't trust it. I got to go with the Chargers in this one.
I will say it's hard to go 17-0 in this league, and it's even harder to go 0-17. I do think they got to sneak one out, and I just think it's going to be here.
But we will ultimately see what happens. We're 2-1 on that one. Next one, it's going to be Jaguars hosting the Browns. All right, Mac, if you want to go first. Or you guys can decide.
This is tough. I think I'm still not that sold on Trevor Lawrence, man, as like an elite quarterback talent in this league, man. I'm not completely sold. I think he's good. He's so solid, but I would rather have him than Daniel Jones, obviously. But I'm not sold on him as an elite quarterback talent, and I think Cleveland's defense is just going to be too much for him to handle. And I think Cleveland does enough will be able to do enough offensively against Jacksonville to get the job done. So I like the Cleveland Browns here.
Okay. And Tymus?
Question. Did Watson make the Browns worse?
It looked like it from last week's play.
Exactly, right? What happened to that Clemson Texans Watson, man? Like, he looked to be in 2 feet of snow and just wasn't moving, man. Like, I don't know, man. It's just not looking good for Watson. Again, you never want to see the downfall of such an electric player like that. Like, it's not like he was a scrub. Like, dude had really impressive runs, just not working. But in this situation, Jacksonville has a really fast defense. They're not necessarily the strongest, but they're a very fast defense. And I don't know if Watson can evade them. That's my biggest question here. Trevor Lawrence, he does just enough not to get fired, but I don't know if he deserved the contract. But again, this is the NFL. You got to pay your quarterbacks. You got to pay them. I'm actually going the opposite way than Mac. I'm saying it's Jacksonville's game to lose because Watson's not proven to be that quarterback that we thought he was. And if the defense just plays the way they do, it's a wrap for them, man, because he can't get out the pocket. He can't move around like he used to. I got Jacksonville beating this one.
Oh, in this game, I'm going to have to go this. It's a tough matchup because, the Browns still do have a good defense, and Trevor Lawrence is not the same caliber quarterback that Dak is. We can say what we want to as fans of division rivals, but at the end of the day, we got to give props. Dak is still a solid QB and he's good against that defense. Now, I look at it on one hand, Trevor Lawrence has not proven he's even in Dak's category yet. He proves he's a few steps above Daniel Jones so far. He'll flash his great games from time to time, but at the same time, with Watson last week, I don't have any confidence in him that he can lead this team. And I'm going to briefly bring it back to last year. Remember, they got hot at the end when they were lucky to claim Flacco off of free agent waivers for the remainder of the season. They caught fire at the right time. They don't have that same luck this year, but I still think the Browns are a solid unit. I mean, I'll go with the Jaguars in this one because I feel like both Jaguars and Browns are kind of the same tier of team. They're both competitive teams that they'll still be in the mix going into December, but likely
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, like these are like these are the new 500 teams where I'm like, hey, if you lose to them, I'm not mad. If you beat them, I'm not mad either. Like these are the new 500 teams of the league.
I'll have to go with the Jaguars in this one, but we will see. Next matchup, Ravens hosting the Raiders at home. Whoever wants to go first, floor's yours.
I'll go. I don't think Lamar's going to have an issue with the Raiders. I think this is going to be his bounce back game. If he does have an issue with the Raiders, I think that goes to season. I think like there goes the season. Like if Lamar has issues with the Raiders, I think the Ravens are in big trouble. So I don't think they will. I think Lamar has his bounce back game. I expect around $110 on the ground from Lamar and at least one in the air. And I think Andrews is going to get a stride as well, and they're going to get that unit back together.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely agree. I think Baltimore takes care of business week 2. I think they take all that frustration out on the Raiders, and just from watching the Raiders last week, it's not even about the players so much. Antonio Pierce is a coach, and I love Antonio Pierce, obviously being a New York Giant fan, but he made some very questionable coaching decisions during that game, man. And I think that's gonna hinder the Raiders potentially all season long if he continues down that path. So I like Baltimore here, definitely.
And I'm going to go with the Ravens as well because the Ravens, even though they did lose, they did put up a fight and they did take it down to the wire. So they weren't annihilated. And the Raiders, they're not the same tier that the Kansas City Chiefs are. So I definitely got the Ravens winning this matchup and bouncing back. Just with the Raiders, you got Antonio Pierce, who's more of a player's coach, but they're not the same quality of team that the Ravens or the Chiefs are. So I got to go with the Ravens in this one. Moving on, we got the Cardinals hosting the Rams. I do think this will be more competitive than some give credit for, but I think it could be a decent game. Whoever wants to go ahead.
Well, look, I'll take the Rams here. I just think the Rams are that is that team that's gonna be a thorn in everybody's side all season long. I think the Cardinals, granted, it was a great effort against the Bills a week ago, but I still believe they're the fourth best team in their division, and I just think the Rams are going to be a little too much. Even though Puka's on the shelf for a few weeks, I think we're just going to see the reemergence of Cooper Kupp. You're going to see Kyron Williams running crazy. And I think what you're going to get, I think what's going to be the Cardinals' downfall also is I got a feeling they're going to come out in this one and really try to force the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., and that's going to end up being the downfall.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is Puka's out. I have no faith in anything from the Cardinals. Division game. I'm gonna go with Arizona just for kicks and giggles, but I got no faith in either one. Like this very well can end in a tie, and I think people are way too high on the Rams here.
The Rams, yeah, I do think, like I said, this is going to be a good game because the Cardinals, even though they're a poor all-around team, when Kyler Murray plays, he still is one of the better QBs. Even if he's not a top-tier QB, he's still a talented quarterback, and he at least gives the Cardinals a chance when he's healthy. We saw that when he was there last season, late in the season, they won a few games with him. And 2 years ago, before the injury, they were at least still a solid team. But though the Rams, I still feel they're the better all-around team. You still got Coach McVay, who managed to take what looked like another dumpster fire season last year and turn it into a playoff berth. And they gave the Detroit Lions a run for their money last week. I do think the Rams, they're just the better all-around team. I got to go with them with this one. Because the Cardinals, it's funny because I look at their schedule. Like early on, I think they're going to hit a lot of losses. But then as their schedule gets easier late, they'll win some games and push closer to the middle of the first round for next year's draft. But I'll go with the Rams in this one.
Okay.
Then we got 425, the Broncos hosting the Steelers.
Woo! So the Steelers win, and they still don't know who their starting quarterback is. I don't know what to say. I mean, Bo Nix was shaky. Man. I mean, the fact this is the 425 game, somebody played a sick joke. It's supposed to be a prime, it's supposed to be one below prime time, and this game is there. I have zero faith in the Broncos, but the Steelers are probably going to win, but they still got to figure out a lot of questions. They have a lot of questions over there. So I'm still going to go with the Steelers because I trust Tomlin as a coach. He gets it done. No losing season in his career, so he gets it done. But I don't ask me to score this game. Don't ask me to score this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a Steelers.
Yeah, I can see this. Yeah, I can see this being a very low scoring affair. I can see, I think you got a great defense in the Pittsburgh. You got a pretty solid defense in Denver, actually, as well. Solid. I mean, Bo Nix. I'm a big Bo Nix guy, but this is no. I wouldn't wish this on any rookie quarterback that had to face this Steeler defense, man. Especially in week 2, only playing your second NFL game. So I'm going with the Steelers here, but I think if you're looking for some offense, this is not the game to go to as a fan. If you're looking for some big time offense, you're not going to get that in this one, I don't think.
Yeah, this is that. Yeah, you're right. This is going to be a low scoring game. And for the Broncos, after seeing what Bo Nix did against the Seahawks, my confidence level in him against the Steelers defense is at a low. This is going to be another depressing game for the Broncos. Give me the Steelers in this one. It's going to be a long afternoon for Bo Nix. Steelers win. Broncos fall to 0-2. Bo Nix future looks bleak headed into week 3. We'll just leave it at that. And then going to the next matchup, defending Super Bowl Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Cincinnati Bengals.
This was supposed to mean something. Like 2 years ago, this game would have been like, oh my goodness, like, oh man, they're back at it. Like, oh, who's gonna win, man? 2 rising stars in the NFL. We got to stop the cap, bro. Burrow had a hot girl summer like 2 years ago, and we ain't seen Joe Burrow since. We ain't seen that Joe Shiesty we was supposed to see since. He's been plagued with injuries. You saw him gripping his hand on the sideline on Sunday. Again, his wrist, excuse me. So he's up in the air. Chase still want a bag. Higgins don't even want to be there. They just got a lot of questions at the organization. They're known to be cheap. They're not paying their players. Not like they have star power, but yet the stars don't want to stay. And the Chiefs have the fastest guy in the league somehow. Again. They had the fastest guy in the league somehow. And they went toe-to-toe with arguably the hardest opponent in Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And they still came out victorious when none of those guys played in the preseason like that. I think it's the Chiefs by a landslide. I think you're going to see Burrow out by the 4th quarter. Not hurt, just not playing because why play him and get hurt at that point? I think he's going to be benched in the 4th, bring out the backup. Chiefs going to run away with it.
Yeah, man, after that week 1 performance from the Cincinnati, man, look, I'm going to assume T. Higgins will probably not be available for Joe Burrow this week, and going against the Chiefs, going in the Arrowhead, you need your full complement of weapons, man. And if Cincinnati's even missing any pieces to that offense, I don't give them much of a chance here, man. I think the Chiefs win this one and win it pretty big as well. I also agree with Thomas on that. I think they win pretty big.
Yes, I mean, yeah, Kansas City definitely got him in this matchup. What we saw from Cincinnati last week, now you're going into this one, likely without one of your star receivers. It's going to be a long day for Cincinnati. I mean, you think New England was a tough game for them. Now you got to go against Kansas City. It's going to be a long afternoon. This is not going to be a good day. So we're unanimous again. Moving on to the night game. Interesting choice for Sunday night.
Ooh, this is
the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, this is a fun game. 2 years ago, we would not care about this game. Let's be like this would not be a primetime game. But now, man, we got CJ Stroud on the rise, doing it again this season, looking good. And we got Caleb do anything to win Bears. I mean, he threw 87 yards and still won the game somehow. So, shouts out to him. I don't know. Is Odunze in or is he out?
I haven't heard anything about him being out, so I'm assuming he's in.
Okay, I know he got injured last game, so I wasn't sure if he was in or not. So he has another first. So he has another first in the wide receiver. Also has DJ Moore. I mean, he has the weapons there. Like he has the weapons. And then Houston, they now got Diggs. This one right here might be a shootout. This one might be a shootout. I don't know if it's gonna get into the 40s on each side, but I'm definitely thinking low to mid 30s in this game. Each team. I think this is gonna be an offensive shootout. I think we're gonna get to see two of the top guys of the past 2 years go at it, and I'm very excited, man. This is Ohio State versus USC, man. I'm very excited to watch this. In terms of who wins, I mean, Stroud's proven himself last year, and he's proven himself this year. Caleb's trying to prove himself. I'm a zig while the world zags. I'm gonna go with Caleb and the Bears. They go up 2-0 on the season.
Wow. I can't. I mean, I can't have that same confidence, my brother. I can't follow you up on that. I gotta. But I mean, CJ, I think this is going to be a little too much Caleb in his second game. I look to see a better version of Caleb than what we saw a week ago in Tennessee against Tennessee, but I think it's still too much. Houston is they're legitimate. They're legit. They are a good football team led by CJ Stroud, man, and I think they get the job done. I don't think this one's even close. I think Texans are going to destroy them.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got the Texans in this matchup. While the Bears did win last week, it was a tough game against the Tennessee Titans. This is a huge step up in competition against CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. I don't think the Bears are quite ready for prime time yet, and we'll see it in this game. I think it's going to be a long game for Caleb Williams and the Bears. I got the Texans winning this one. I mean, maybe as the season goes along, we'll see Caleb improve, but I don't think he's ready early in the season for that level of competition. And then, last but not least, Monday Night Football, my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, hosting the Kirk Cousins-led Atlanta Falcons in honor of Nick Foles at halftime.
Well, I think we get another hat trick from Saquon Barkley. I'm just going to say it. I think we get another hat trick from Barkley. I think crowd's going to be electric, man. Eagles home opener. I just don't see it. Kirk Cousins, the way he looked, he's not ready to be the field, man. I just can't imagine. I think the Eagles defense is going to get after him. I think the Eagles absolutely blow the Atlanta Falcons out on Monday night. in prime time, man, at home. I think the crowd's just going to be absolutely amped up for let's get to see the debut of Saquon Barkley at the link in the Eagles uniform. It is at least. So yeah, I think they're just going to go crazy in that place, and I think they're going to blow Atlanta out, run them out of the stadium.
Okay. As a Commanders fan, I know what Kirk does at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Yeah, I know what he does on 8 p.m. on a Monday. Okay, I don't know what it is about his circadian rhythm when it comes to primetime games, but you might as well put a mannequin back there because Kirk ain't gonna show up. So Philly gonna run away with it. It's gonna be done. Kirk might get 8 sacks, 2 picks, and a fumble. Like I just don't know. Kirk just can't play on Monday night at 8:00. It just doesn't work, man. It just doesn't work. Saquon for 2. Go ahead and throw Hurts for 1, and then go ahead and hit Brown with 1 as well. 4 touchdowns ain't gonna be funny. Keep it moving.
Yep. I got to go with the Eagles. Putting fan bias aside, you look at these two teams. The Falcons last week against the Steelers looked abysmal. And now you're going against an Eagles team who has a better offense with Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in the lineup, maybe Dallas Goedert. This is going to be an Eagles game right here. Give me the Eagles to take care of business. Move on to 2-0. Have the Eagles and Cowboys at 2-0 at the end of the week. That's the way I see it, man. I just don't see the Falcons being able, with Kirk Cousins, who struggled against the Steelers defense, who's not getting any younger. He's in a worse situation than he was in Minnesota. I don't see this Falcons team being able to manage a win. Not against the Eagles, who were the hottest, one of the hottest offenses in the league last year. So give me the Eagles to take care of business on this one. Get the W. That's it for our week.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Michael Penix Jr. before it's all said and done Monday night. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know what it is about Kirk, man. But like I said, if this is 1 p.m. Sunday, hey, we got a game. But 8 o'clock on a Monday, yeah, bro. Yeah. He might as well stay home.
Right. So that was fun. And before we move on, I'd like to give mention that come Sunday on the Hardcore Sports Network, it'll be the Sunday morning show at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be Hardcore Sports Network presents NFL Sunday Morning Show, Season 3, Episode 2, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may or may not be on there, but for everyone that will, but Mac, I don't know, you be on there?
Yeah, I'll probably be on there.
And Tymus, you might be on there as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on there. I'll be there this Sunday. I won't be there at the home opener. I'll be home in the best seat of the house. Because Commanders suck, and I don't want to see Daniel Jones rip another 70-yard run on us. So if I got to see that, I'm gonna see that from the comfort of my home. See, I'll be there.
Yep. So, and I'll probably be on too. But just a reminder, you guys, to check it out on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. on YouTube. We'll be giving hot takes. We'll probably be giving our picks again. You'll probably have some different people joining in as well, so get to hear their picks as well. So it'll be a fun talk before the games start on Sunday. We can also throw in a little recap from the Thursday night game. So tune in, 10 a.m. Sunday, Hardcore Sports Network from the Sunday Countdown Show. So to everyone that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Had a fun time here. We seemed like a lot of our picks were unanimous. We did have a few splits on them. But yeah, now we will see what's going to happen and see who does what with their picks. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. If any of you guys have anything you want to say before we go off, feel free to speak.
Watch out for that. Watch out for that Bears pick, man. I think that Bears pick is going to be the trap game of the week. I think Bears Texans is going to be a trap game of the week.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know, man. I think we're getting 2 primetime blowouts personally. I think this week, I think Sunday night's gonna be a blowout. I think Monday night's gonna be a blowout, man. I just can't. I don't know. I just can't. You never know. You might be right. Chicago might come out and surprise us, but based off of what I saw, Caleb Williams still has a lot of work to do, man. That's going to be a tough task to knock down Houston, man.
Got you.
All right, and for me, all I'm gonna say is, let's see. I think the most interesting games you got are Miami, Buffalo. I think Rams Cardinals is going to be the sleeper game of the week. That'll probably be better than people expect it to be. But most of these games are easy picks for the most part. You're going to see a lot of favorites winning. I mean, you might get an
I just want to say something to Giant fans too before we get out of here. I'm sorry, but New York Giant fans, if Daniel Jones comes out on Sunday and he lights Washington up, don't start getting all crazy, getting on that hype train. He's made a career of doing that. That's the one thing he's made a career of doing his whole entire career. So it's going to mean nothing. He'll get right back to reality the following week against Cleveland. Trust me when I tell you that. Daniel Jones has to go. All right. That's it. That's even if. I don't even think he's going to do it. I don't even think he can do it this week. I just think after what I saw Sunday, he's not even going. He's going to probably come out and still stink it up against Washington as well. I just don't believe in that dude, and I can't stand behind him anymore. Just the team, not him. That's all I got.
All right. So again, all right. So guys, this was fun. It was fun coming back, fun hosting. It was fun interacting with you guys for the first time in nearly 2 seasons. I had fun with this, and hopefully I'll be able to join Sunday, and hopefully you guys will be on for these upcoming weeks of Pickems, and we can keep this thing rolling. So to everyone that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this right here. You enjoy the rest of your night. With Nikki Stees, Mac the Giants fan, Big Moves Timus, signing off. Have a great night. Peace.